Hello and welcome to the Construction Show. We are filming episodes from WEFTEC in Chicago. We have Inland Tarp and Liner. We have two guests on the show who are live at the event. I get to be here in studio. Gowdy's on site filming and connecting us. And we have William Powell, Director of Business Development, and Leo Cortez. He is the RCR Product Manager, and RCR is going to be a big topic that we're going to have today. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Good. I'm very well. Where's everybody coming from? You're in Chicago, but I think both of you traveled from different places, right?
Yes, sir. I'm from Washington State. Inland Tarp and Liners headquarters is in Moses Lake, Washington. So I traveled across the country to get down here to Chicago. Enjoy their beautiful summer weather, what's left of it.
Yeah, I heard the weather's good. And then where are you from, William?
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. So it was just a direct flight over here. It wasn't too bad, about 2 hours, but we're thankful to be here and definitely happy about the cooler weather than down there in Texas.
Yeah, I think I was saying off air, we're actually heading to Texas. We're doing the oil show, PBIOS, down there, and I think in Odessa, which is sort of I think you have a plant there, right?
Yes, we do. That's one of our many manufacturing facilities. We have 3 in the United States.
Well, let's keep on that with that vein. Can you tell us just a little bit about ITL for people that are just getting introduced to the company?
Yeah, definitely. So we've been around for about 45 years, and originally we came into the industry in the HATAR business. And then slowly but surely, we kind of moved our way into the oil and gas industry around 2005. In 2019, we introduced a new product called ITL RCR that Leo over here headed up. And pretty much since then, our entire motto has been to provide trusted solutions to our customers, products that have been rigorously tested, and also provide, on-site assistance and field assistance for any sort of installations moving forward.
So I was going to ask sorry, when did this product come online? The RCR?
2019.
2019. So is this out of all your product lines, what are maybe again, just to help people understand, what are sort of your top 3 or 4 product lines, or is it such a range for you?
I would say our top product lines right now would range from LLDPE, HDPE products, coated woven polyethylenes or CWPE. We also have a product exclusive to ITL, which is our XGL series. It's a laminated LLDPE product. It's about 5 or 6 different layers. And then obviously we have the RCR as well. So we're favored towards the RCR because it's our newer product and we're seeing a lot of success in it. But definitely what keeps the lights on is that we handle fabrication at all 3 of those facilities. We are one of the largest fabricators in the United States. And we definitely provide, like I said earlier, that rigorous testing that keeps us on the forefront of the technology.
Well, we're going to do 2 more episodes with ITL, so we're going to be covering some of those, I think. And so we're going to focus on RCR for the audience. So if you're watching this episode, there will be links as we bring those other 2 episodes online. There'll be links to the other episodes. You'll be able to sort of cross link and learn more about ITL from there. But Leo, we're going to go over to you. Can you tell us a little bit about the RCR product?
Yeah, so ITL RCR is classified as a GCCM product. GCCM in the geosynthetic world is a geosynthetic cementitious composite mat. Kind of a mouthful, so
Yeah.
GCCM. And then ITL reinforced concrete roll, just to, acronyms, ITL RCR. And pretty much if you think of a blanket, it's basically just a concrete blanket. You lay it down just like a fabric, and then you simply spray water on it. Once you hydrate it, it turns into cement. You've got yourself a concrete product. The product itself comes like a roll of carpet, 16 feet 7 inches wide, and then you unroll the material and it's 65 feet 4 inches long. So it's basically just a rolled up concrete carpet. Unroll the material, easy to cut. You just cut it with a utility blade, able to go around any type of structures or penetrations. And once it's in place, you simply spray it with water and you're good to go. You've got yourself a concrete mat. ITL RCR is manufactured using the needle punching method, and that is simply using two non-wovens and placing your cement mix in the middle. It's no hazardous waste. It's polypropylene on 100% polypropylene on the bottom. You got a layer of cement, and then you have 100% polypropylene on top. You simply needle punch the material together. It creates one composite, and it's just a solid piece of material. Keeps that same consistency all the way through. Easy to deploy, easy to work with.
Well, you're talking about it very, very just like kind of like it's always been in the market. I've never seen people rolling out cement, so this is kind of new for me.
And that is true. You don't see a lot of. It's recently got ASTM standards developed for it. It is something that is new to the market. It's a new type of geosynthetic. We're just trying to get out there. We've done a lot of work with different types of laboratories testing different components of our GCCM. Originally, because it's a new type of material, we were testing more toward similar types of composites, and obviously testing the cement material. We have developed some ASTM standards around GCCM, and we are continuing to develop more standards around it. But we're really happy with the material. It's been working great in the mining industry. ITL RCR is MSHA approved. We have an IC number for the material. It was tested by the Department of Labor and classified as fire resistant, and it is able to be taken down into the mines and stored underground.
Wow. Is this structural? Like what are the, like, can it be driven on? Is it a protective cement? I'm just trying to understand what the applications are. Maybe either one of you.
It more like a reinforced armor. So it can be driven on. Of course, it's only a half-inch thick, so you don't want to use steel tracks and be churning on it. But it's not meant for structural purposes. First of all, I need to make sure that I'm clear on that one. So you're not going to build a house with it or anything like that, but you don't want to use it as a bridge. It's great for like lining channels. Being from an agricultural area, originally when we started with RCR, that was our initial thought was, for this area, for remediating cement structures, cement canals, instead of having to pull the concrete out and replace it. You simply go right over the top with RCR. It's got a 30-year warranty. It's a great material to use as a lining material to, remediate concrete or provide protection to a geomembrane or to help stabilize the slope.
William, just to bring you in for a second, what are the applications that what other things can it be used for, and what is sort of your message at a place like WEFTEC? Who are you trying to connect with, and what applications are you hoping for people to onboard at an event like WEFTEC?
Well, that's a great question. So I'll address just kind of the different applications that we have right now that we're seeing in several markets. It's ranging from erosion control to culvert lining. The whole point of this material is just the ease of installation. It's night and day when it comes to installation as far as versus traditional concrete. You'll have your pros and cons. It's not going to be the same as 6-inch reinforced rebar, but it'll definitely go down a heck of a lot faster. So I'd say for this particular show right now, a lot of what people are looking for is ways to channel water and directionally change the flow. So RCRs, like he was mentioning earlier, RCR is a great way to line channels and provide a hard-armored solution that's long-lasting, that can take that hydraulic, that continuous movement of water and then change the direction of it so that it prevents erosion and is channeled into the correct movement.
Can we do a bit of comparison? So what would they do? And you mentioned mining, and so we'll try to kind of piece it all together. Let's say on a culvert or a channel, what would have been done before? So originally they would lay cement down, or in the culvert they'd put the piping in. What would have they done at the once corrosion had started to happen, or that original cement had started to break apart?
So generally speaking, in a culvert, it's going to fail from the bottom up, unless you're having some sort of corrosion on the top of the actual culvert itself. And generally that'll go up to the water line, which is half the diameter of the pipe. So whenever we're looking at it, traditionally speaking, you would just remove that culvert if it's a metal culvert or HDPE, etc., which would in turn require you to completely excavate the pipe, rip up the road if there is a road, go through somebody's yard. It's a long process. It's definitely not something that you can do in half a day, which is what our product allows us to do. You would go in there and you could do traditional concrete. You can use Quickcrete or just really any sort of concrete. It doesn't have to be Quickcrete, but you can use that to fill the void. But with our material, you actually can go in there with traditional subgrade, pea gravel, or concrete, anything that you want to, just to fill the void, the portion that's been undermined in that pipe. And then you'll take the roll and you'll cut it into the sections that take it up to the water line. And then you'll roll it out starting from the front end of the culvert and then take it all the way to the box. And then you'll fasten it to the box with a stainless steel batten strip, 4-inch anchor bolts, and then along the sides, just trying to create a visual here so you can understand what we do. Along the side, you'll just use 1-inch self-tapping screws, basically every 4 to 6 inches, and then usually a bead of Sikaflex or construction adhesive. We don't have a huge recommendation on what type of adhesive. It's just an added layer of protection to make sure water doesn't get behind the system. So once you do that, you wet it down, and 3 to 4 hours you can walk on it. 24 hours you're at 90% cure strength, depending on which product line you end up going with. And it can cure underwater. So if you do have a rain event, you don't have to worry about the product not curing. So
I can kind of help with that visualization too. If you look right behind us in that picture, he's actually installing RCR on a culvert. So it's just like laying that blanket down. I mean, it'll form right to the ribs, lays right in place. You're simply, to back what William said, we just use as you can see the gentleman doing, self-tapping screws and connect the material to the pipe. And then, just go ahead and hydrate it. Or, if you dammed off the culvert, you can pull up whatever you dammed it with and let the water hydrate the material itself. It will cure underwater.
Wow. Is the thing that comes to my mind is for municipalities. I watch some of these projects. I've got a major project going right outside our apartment right now, and so a major bridge being built, and along with the bridge, I forget how many millions or whatever it is to build this thing, but it's a huge investment, and they're pulling up all sorts of things, and just watching the time it takes, it must be. Never mind the actual work, just the permitting to go through people's yards and pull roads up and do all this crazy stuff that they have to do. That must be a big sell. Is the market picking it up? How much of a savings it actually is? Just the time of planning these repairs out?
Definitely. I mean, it's night and day, as I said before. When you go in, we'll start out with a presentation on the municipal or parish level, depending on what state you're in. There's always different names. And, we always want to make sure that we're in front of the right individuals. We're solutions providers first. So we want to make sure we're addressing the pain points that the city has. RCR is a great fit, but sometimes it's not the right application. We are limited with certain things like hydraulic data. We're constantly trying to perfect the product and the testing that we have for GCCMs as a whole, not just RCR in general. But they really are picking it up. I mean, it's generally speaking, we do a presentation and then there's implementation within 30 to 60 days. So performing the work is a huge cost savings too. Rather than it having to go out to bid, the municipalities are able to purchase this material under their threshold and then have their waterworks guys and gals take care of it and do it themselves, just because of that minimal installation crew. You only need about 4 to 5 people to do this, and we're actually that 5th person because we do come on site for.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we're always on site for our installations, whether it's Leo or myself. There's no preferred installer program because of that reason. We always want to make sure that we have a successful installation at the beginning. 95% of failures are because of installation, so it's just a very easy thing for us to always be able to cover whenever we're installing.
Are there some products that stand out to you to sort of, again, you were doing the visual before and that picture behind you. Are there some, like, Leo, you mentioned the mining. I think I'd like to go back to that. But are there other examples that you've installed that maybe just sort of stand out as good examples for people listening?
I know, like you're saying, the ease of installation. This one wasn't a mine; it was actually for a irrigation district. But down south, they are trying to move from your traditional open channel waterways over to underground piping, just to, water conservation. So some of the places that have been able to start making that transition, where they're going from, they'll get to suit certain parts where they can get that far with the underground pipes, but then they have to go back to the open channel, the original canal. In areas like that, what they'll do is just make a dog leg in the end of the pipe, dog leg it over to the original channel. Now you're going to have a lot of high flowing water through there, and you're creating the perfect opportunity for erosion to just tear up that channel right there. And usually they're earth and canals. So some of the benefits and examples like that we've done is being able to go through and install the product in a day or two, as opposed to bringing in, not only taking a lot more time to do it in traditional concrete, but also having to bring in special machinery, professionals who are going to be able to finish the concrete structure. Where with RCR, we are able to do it just with the with their maintenance crew. Where they go out there, they'll dig it with dig that transition with their own excavator, and then they'll just use their guys to install the RCR. It's as easy as laying down basically like a carpet, and we're there up front to help you with the planning. That way we can pre-plan how many days it's going to take, how many days the water's going to have to be off. In most instances, it's 3 days from start to finish. But yeah, it's a nice quick installation. No special tools are required. You lay the material down with a spreader bark, and then you seal the material. When you have multiple panels, you seal it with thermal fusion welding, which is basically just using a handheld propane torch. Take care of your seams, and then hydrate it. And a lot of those, they need the water immediately. So you just open the gate back up, let the water flow, and then you spray the sides of it. And, it's a nice quick turnaround.
You were saying so that's on a dirt bottom. Then you are putting that right on the dirt bottom. So you're rolling it out, and then is it forming? Sorry, some of these will be layman questions, but like on the culvert, it's forming to the culvert. Is that sort of the same idea, that it's going to form to the earth that it's laid in?
Yes, sir. It opposed to traditional concrete. I know a lot of people, you think you lay the concrete down, it gets flat on the top, and then you use some type of finishing tool. With RCR, you lay it down and it's gonna mirror whatever your subgrade is. So like behind us in the culvert, you lay it down on a culvert pipe, you're going to see all those ribs. It's going to form down into it. Same thing with a channel, earthen channel. You just want to make sure you get good compaction, and then just lay it right over the top of it, and it's going to form to that subgrade.
William, I've got a note too. There was about enhancing oil quality, and I wanted to ask you about that one because I've got it in front of me, and I didn't want to miss that. Do you know what that's referring to?
Enhancing, you saying
I've got
enhancing oil
enhancing
quality
soil quality in
or soil
Louisiana. I've
quality?
got it on a note in front of me.
Well, I mean, I'll definitely say as far as it won't, it's not a filtration product to say, but it will prevent vegetation. I mean, it's got that geosynthetic on the back, which naturally will prevent silt, fines, vegetation from growing up through the system. Unlike traditional concrete, that's the reason why you see grass grow in concrete sometimes, is because grass will always find a way. It's going to grow up through the small openings and cracks that come from just over the lifespan of the concrete itself. That's kind of what I would think would be being able to protect the soil, but
Right.
it is, it's impermeable to a certain level, but it is not fully contained. It will sweat like traditional concrete
Right.
does on the backside. So,
And that's one thing that we can help with, is that it is not 100% impermeable. So if you did need 100% containment and you had some type of chemical, then we would be able to provide you the correct geomembrane to put underneath it to
Right.
make sure you got.
we've got
full
the
containment.
liners. Well, that's what we do.
Yeah, you've got the liners. Yeah. Well,
We got
yeah.
the liners.
Well, I'm glad we clarified that, and we'll be talking more about those in the other episodes. So,
Yeah.
hesitancy in the market. It's always an interesting. I mean, I've experienced doing this show. We used to. It was all we could do to do 12 episodes in a year. Now we can do a couple hundred. It takes time sometimes.
Right.
What are some of the hesitancies when you're talking to people, either at the event or at the market or at the R&D stage? Let's just talk about some of those questions that have come up over people thinking about onboarding it.
Can we take that one?
Yeah.
So I would say hesitancy, really, like any product, that's less than 10 years old, right? If it's not hard spec, if another engineering firm can't look at someone else's work and say, oh, it worked over here, it's just taking that leap. And I think that's really where ITL bridges the gap, is because we shepherd new projects, or we call them pilot projects, with the municipalities and the engineering firms to reassure them that it's going to be a success. So I would say that's kind of the hesitancy of just jumping into something new, it just being a new product and all. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's kind of up and down, but we have been getting some really, really good feedback. I would say that's kind of the exception hearing that.
I think a big part of it too is just it's new. So I mean, it's like everything else new, until people are hesitant. Well, this is the same way we've always been doing it, so we're just going to continue to do it this way, which is turning around and biting them a couple of times. We're like a roadside ditch that's getting excess amount of water down, and it blows the ditch out. So then they'll go back through and just, usually all we do is go and refill it again.
Yeah, with rock riprap. Yeah, they're just like, we're just going to keep doing rock riprap every 6 months, and that costs a certain amount every time.
Yeah, so we are starting to turn some heads as we get projects like that and show them, look, this is the same. Here's a case study. Exactly similar problem that you're having. Here's how we were able to address that problem. So it's just being able to show people that this is an effective solution. And then there's always the they got a bid to do it the traditional way, and they're used to paying X amount of money.
I was wondering about that actually.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that. Just specifications. It's like saying, hey, we got a new way of wiring an electrical building, and people are like, well, it is wonderful, but we can't use it because we have these specs that are outlined by the municipality. You must run into that.
I would say when we run into that type of scenario, it's actually not as hard as people think. Mainly because we have done a lot of the legwork on the back end with our in-house technical experts to be able to provide those CAD files, to be able to provide those installation requirements, the proof is in the details, and then also in the installation. So we can provide about 90% of a hard spec for any sort of engineering firm to be able to plug and play, so to speak, the product. But again, it's all about buying into the product first if they think it's going to be a good application, because we don't want to hard spec into a solution that, or provide a solution that's not going to work for the end user. That's not what we're about.
Leo, you were on the product side. You as a product manager, what's your background coming into this?
So I've been born and raised in the construction field, doing concrete and putting up structures my whole life. But I did spend after college, I got into the chemical industry. Spent the last 17 years before coming to ITL, working with reactors and high pressure chemicals and gases. So a little different.
So cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, actually had the opportunity to learn about the product. Was fortunate enough just to know somebody that was part of the ITL team. They got a lot of geniuses when it comes to plastics engineers, and they said they had a new product. They knew a ton about the plastic part of it, but had some questions when it came to the cement. And so we just started bouncing stuff off each other. I was throwing a lot of curveballs at the material, a lot like you, and a lot like 90%, it seems like, of the people that we speak with. I've never heard of a GCCM.
No.
Oh, it's a what? That sounds made up. I don't think that's true. Does it do this? Can you use it here? What can we do this kind of test on it? What happens if I put a torch on it? I got a friend who owns a molten iron, makes iron, what do you call it? Iron for the sewer caps. I mean, what happens if we pour? Probably never going to get molten iron poured on it, 1800 degrees, but let's see what happens. So just was super intrigued with the material, and yeah, it's awesome. And I was happy to be asked about it, and told them, yeah, I'd definitely love to jump on board, and let's get a lot of the jump into the testing. So we started testing it for not just cement, but also testing it for similar products, and then got involved in the ASTM committee and helping develop more testing around GCCMs as a whole.
And then William, what about you? What's your story coming on board? You haven't been with them that long, have you?
Well, I actually just hit my 1 year. What was it, like a day ago? I think it was on Monday officially, and so I'm definitely. It's been quite the ride. I always give Leo and Matt Purcell a hard time because I came on a Monday and then I was at a trade show on a Wednesday. So
Yeah.
they were confident, and part of that was because of my experience in geosynthetics. Predominantly, I have a very vast experience in erosion control products and geosynthetics in turn. And so that was a quality that they were looking for. They were looking at bringing a solutions-based mindset into the ITL family to complement our extreme passion for being detailed and maintaining high-quality materials. So that was kind of why they brought me on, and also to fill a sales role as well. So yeah, I mean, I had actually installed ITL RCR. I was on site for the first two projects in the state of Texas, and prior to coming to ITL, and I saw an immediate need. I mean, I fell in love with the product immediately, so I knew it was going to be big, and when the opportunity arose, I was very happy to hear that they wanted me to come be a part of the family. So.
Yeah, it's quite when you got booked on the show, Rory, who helped, I think he worked with Jen, I think, to organize everything. Yep. He actually phoned me and said about this product. And we book a lot of shows, so I don't get a phone call with every product. Sometimes it's a day before I'm getting to see what's the topic.
That's a good thing.
No, he was really excited about it, and it's going to be interesting to see it coming into the market, because it just seems like there would be the one thing before I let you go, where are the applications, and this is specific to like my area in BC here in Canada. is we've had a lot of flooding over the years, and so they're putting in new channels, and I would assume they're rerouting even like rivers and there's all kinds of stuff happening here. If you drive up um, one of our main highways that connects the interior to the coast, you've never seen so many machines just everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
is this an application? Could you use it in that type of application where you're like flooding in all these cities, like farmland they're having to reroute channels and all that type of stuff? Are you seeing in that type of application? I know it's sort of a curveball, but I'm just curious.
I know we've had projects up in Canada where we've actually rerouted water down in tributaries, and we've had to get some extensive water testing done with the material just to make sure before we were able to pursue those applications that it wasn't going to endanger any of the wildlife.
Right.
But yeah, that's shoot.
The metals testing and microbial testing as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it can be used for those applications, or just even man-built channels as well, like through municipalities.
Definitely. I mean, if you have a talented dirt work, crew that their main goal is to take a place that's being overhydrated and then channelize it and create a new thing. This would be a perfect solution for that.
Right.
As far as it maintaining the life of that that design.
Yeah.
It would definitely provide a hard-on solution.
And I think a big part of bringing, this type of material, GCCM material to market is we've done applications where, we know the DOT has asked us to get it approved to line culverts. The mining industry asked us to get it approved, certified in order to protect slopes, when they're tailings ponds. We're finding different applications. We knew it was going to be great for channeling water, but we're also getting, underneath golf bunkers. They're like, here, this is the way the current method that we use to do it. This stuff would be awesome. Is it going to work? And then we go do an application, and they're like, this is going to change the golf bunker industry. And it's like, hey, that's awesome. So as we come to introduce the product more to the market, we're starting to get asked more and more things about different types of applications that we just haven't thought of yet. So we think there's probably a lot more opportunities out there that we just we aren't aware of yet. So.
But you brought up a good point. We can close with this. Is the certification? So as you do new applications, do you often need to go get the product then certified for that particular one?
No, we've actually been. No, I don't think we've really had that issue. It's more getting it spec'd in.
Yeah, it's more getting it spec'd in. But I mean, we believe in this product strongly, and we definitely think that it's worth the investment, especially if it's going to be able to solve a problem that's been, a pain point for a community for 20 plus years.
Right. Well, there's probably some local communities where I'm originally from. They've had some issues that it sounds like this is the product to actually probably fix it. And I think they're doing the thing where they're putting the riprap in.
I'm telling you, anywhere that you see rock, I mean, this is a fantastic product to sub out riprap, because you don't have to worry about grass growing up through it, spraying it down, weed killer, all that.
Sinking into the ground,
anything.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I know you've got a show to get back to, and thank you for taking the time. We'll leave it there. We're going to have lots of links to the products and even your own LinkedIn so people can connect with you. I really do appreciate you taking the time during a show to do this with us, and hopefully, we got two more with you. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Good seeing you. Thank you.
Have a great day. See you. Bye.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. We will put a link to ITL and the product line as well as contact information. Make sure to check them out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Construction Show.